No, now we are live. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first convergent session for the English group. This is the HANDSON Mooc, and it started on Monday 27th, and it will last until Friday 28th of November. So this is 5 weeks of Learning Design Studio. It's a Mooc for educators from any sector. We have about 2,700 registered participants in 7 different languages. So many educators from all around the world, and most of them are English. So most of them registered for the English group. That's 881 participants for the English group. So this week is about initiating. It's the first week. It's going a little bit slow, warming up and getting to know the environment, the two environments, the campus and Ilde, and also getting acquainted with the Mooc approach, which is the Learning Design Studio. Today here we have so far Paul and Denzil. They are both facilitators for the English discussion group, and Dimitra from the Greek one. So before I go on, I'm gonna ask them to explain their first impressions on the Mooc. Maybe Paul, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Um, I've had some familiarity with Canvas, so that wasn't too difficult to get around. And again, there's quite a lot of discussion going on. People are getting more comfortable with it, seems like, and discussions are going on. There seems to be, from what I've seen so far, a good range of people. Some of the comments I've seen are from people obviously in a primary sort of level, 4 to 11 or slightly older than that. There's quite a few teachers in the secondary level, up to 19-year-olds, and a few beyond that, I think. Some people are putting up some really interesting talking points in which I've been getting involved in and other people have been getting involved in. There's a nice discussion going on about technology, and a lot of people are new to using technology in the classroom. So I think this is a really good way of seeing the sort of the advantages and disadvantages of technology. Again, I know one discussion that's going on looked quite interesting. A teacher teaching English has got a classroom full of MacBooks, which I think everyone would like to have. But what I thought was quite interesting is that's okay if your students can type really well. And I don't know what it's like in other countries, but here in the UK, we don't, despite the fact that all this technology is being used, we don't have a sort of mandatory courses that teach you how to type anymore. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing. How well can you access technology, or how well do you need to be able to type, but with smartphones and that type of gesture type technology? I've had a bit of a dip around on the ILDE, and again, I'm sort of familiar with that technology, and I've made the pages and tried to keep up with the people that are working. So again, I'm going to need some participation from people, I imagine, on some of those elements, but the work that I'm doing just ahead of everyone else, I think, is hopefully useful. And if anyone wants to, ask me any questions or share some resources as I'm doing, then that would be really useful. I think the more of us that can share what we're up to and our thoughts and where we're heading, I think that'd be more beneficial for all of us, myself included. So please reach out and find people and talk to us and work.
Thank you, Paul. As you said, it's a Mooc about sharing experiences. It's a lot about getting to know each other and each other's experiences, and also it's very focused on peer mentoring. So the next activity 4, is about peer mentoring. So it's about providing feedback to other people's streams. And this is very useful. You're not supposed to evaluate or assess a dream, but to provide feedback on the things that are clear, things that may be easier to be explained or that are not well understood. So it's not about assessing, but it's about enriching, right? So sharing and providing feedback to each other is a great way of learning as well. And this is one of the main points of this Mooc. So
I think pointing to resources as well. Obviously, I know
yeah.
things that I've used that have been effective in my teaching, and other people have been pointing out stuff that they've been using in their teaching. I think collaboratively, then we can get some really good resources together, I think.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. So each week on the Canvas has a further reading section. So when you go to modules, there is always the further reading for module 1, but it's great that also participants enrich these sections and suggest different uh, resources and papers as you've been doing, and also Sarah did, and everything. So I think I see that Denzil lost the connection. Dimitra, do you want to tell us a little bit how it is going for the Greek group?
Yes. Well, I'm very happy because we have some participants that had already joined us in the second Mooc, and they still seem to be very motivated. The first days of Mooc, Greek participants first were a bit find a bit difficult to get to know the environment, but now they seem to understand it, to be familiar with it, and they have started to share their dreams, to exchange ideas. We have discussions. So I think that although it's the first days, we have reached a small goal, and they started to get the point of this MOOC, to participate more, to exchange ideas, to help each other, and I'm very happy about it.
Thank
That's it for me.
yes, thanks, Dimitra. I think it was really nice, or really, I don't know how to say, positive to see that we had people coming back from the first MOOC. So
Hmm.
we had, as some of you may know, we had a lot of participants from Greece in the MOOC too. There were about like 800 registered, and now we are seeing familiar names coming back.
Yeah.
So it's really a very positive and experience, and we also like to insist that it's a MOOC that you can do as many times as possible, because
Hmm.
teachers and educators, you're designing your own learning activity. So you can do it as many times as learning activities you have to design, right? Is it the feeling that you get, Dimitra? That they can, um,
So I didn't hear you.
oh, that
The
it's,
connection is not so good,
yeah.
probably.
Is it the feeling that you have that you can redo the MOOC as many times as possible, because
Yes,
every
I
time you learn
think
different things?
yes. Some of the old participants of the hands-on MOOC seem to be really motivated.
Hmm.
Um, I think that it's still interesting for all of them.
Yes, great. And now they can communicate in Greek. So
Yes,
maybe that's
that's
easier as
very
well.
important, I think. It's easier for them.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna try to see if Denzil can talk with us and tell us his experience. Are you there, Denzil?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now yes. Do you wanna to tell us a
Oh,
little
okay,
bit
that's
how?
great.
Can you hear me fine?
Hmm. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Do you wanna tell us a little bit your experience with these first days of the MOOC?
Yes, from my side, I think the Canvas platform is excellent. It really works, and what's good about it is that it allows the user to share their different experiences across. So what I've been seeing is that it's user friendly, and a lot of people actually find it much easier to grasp with the concept of Canvas itself and the functionality of it, which makes it a easy platform to negotiate with. And what I've also seen is that it creates a good way of designing, but besides just designing, it also brings in the personal experiences in designing. And so far, the MOOC has been quite interesting to see the different perspectives coming across. But what I also like is the experiences from the different contexts and the richness in terms of diversity in designing these learning activities. So I'm actually looking forward to see how different people interact with the platform and how that becomes an exposure to the diversity in which we can all benefit from the different contexts of designing learning materials.
Okay. Thank you, Dansil, for your feedback, and I think it's very enriching for all of us to learn about different environments, contexts, experiences. From what you're saying, I think that maybe you're enjoying Canvas, and I think it's a good learning management system. But we are seeing that some of our participants do have problems with Canvas and ILDE. So I just wanted to remind participants that we have a specific forum for technical questions. So if you go to Canvas and you go to the to the modules page, you can see on top of it a specific discussion for technical support. So also, if that doesn't work for you, you can also send us an email to community@handson.handsonict.eu. Okay, so I'm gonna just oh, I was reading the questions on the answers, questions and answers. Yeah, so for the ILDE, the best thing to do for the ILDE is to send us an email. I think Matthias asked this question, so if you can send us an email to community@handsonict.eu, that will be great. So I just want to quickly remind you that this is a 5-weeks MOOC. It's about Learning Design Studio, so it's about designing an ICT-based learning activity that suits your context and your students. So the first week is this one. We are in the first week. It's called Initiate, and it's about getting to know the different environments. The main ones are Canvas and ILDE, and also Google Hangouts for these sessions. These sessions are not mandatory, they are optional, and we always try to invite participants to join us into the session so that they can share their experiences and also ask questions. So we will try to invite participants for the next one, and if you have any interest, please let us know. The week also is about getting to know the Learning Design Studio approach, so knowing it a little bit. It's not a research or theoretical course, but it's good that you know a little bit how it works. And then the main objective or learning activity for this week is to defining your educational challenge. The educational challenge is the problem or the situation that you want to be changed. So it's focused on your goals and on your objectives and your expectations. I also want to remind the English participants that the English group has set up a discussion that it's called Expectations. I think it's Paul who started it, and I invite you to share your expectations with it as well. And then going back to the Dream Bazaar, this is the educational challenge activity, and it's the main driving thread through the MOOC, because you will have to refine this dream and also design according to it. I don't know if we have any more questions. Paul, do you want to add anything, or Dimitra? Denzil, any tips or ideas or suggestions or anything else for our viewers today?
I would just say, keep on participating and building up that collaborative work. It's going very well, I think. I'm enjoying the discussions, and I think it's going to build up a momentum as we go along, and as people get more and more into the discussions. It's looking really good.
Thank you. Yes, on top of that, I would like to add that even if maybe it's a bit discouraging to have the new environments, the ILDE and the Canvas, it will get better. So don't worry if the first days are a bit frustrating, because it's really a short learning process, and it will get better. Hi, Anya. Can you hear me?
Hello.
How are you? You managed to join.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Apologies for being late. I was in the meeting.
It's okay, no problem. So before I let you speak, I was going to ask Dimitri or Denzil if they want to add anything else. We've been reviewing this first week activities, and they have been sharing with us their experiences. I don't know, Annie, if you know Dimitra. She's from the Greek group. She's the lead facilitator for the Greek group, and Denzil and Paul are in the English group, right? So I think you've talked to them before via email. So Denzil, do you want to add something else?
From my side, I think I just want to encourage the participants to keep on participating, getting involved in the discussions. And I think it's a first week, so it's going to be a bit difficult in the first week. But as we get used to the platform and start engaging a bit more, I think it's going to be much more exciting, and the activities are also going to increase, and we'll be able to learn from each other. So I think in the first week, just stick in there and get your thumbs into it as we just slowly progress. But I think we're going to get it slowly as we get into the second week.
Thank you for the encouragement. I want to answer Wim. He said, why don't we use presentation slides? And the reason why we are not using them is because these are the conversion sessions are most about sharing experiences and talking about what's going on, the main questions. So it's not a lecture per se, but it's more a space in which participants and also facilitators can share, can ask questions, can clarify doubts. So that's the reason why we don't have presentation slides. It's more a conversation than a lecture, right? So now that we have Anya here, and she has been yesterday, I think she digged into the Mooc, and you were reading the contributions and discussions. Do you want to give a short summary of what you read or the feedback or anything?
I was away, so yesterday was my first day actually, and I did read. There's so much to read, and it's great to see people digging into the activities and starting thinking about the projects. And I did write a kind of a daily journal entry, and in which I did say that it's great to see such a variety of projects. I'm a language teacher, so it's interesting to see, for example, that what people in other subjects are working with. So, for example, Paul, his project is about computing curriculum. Somebody else was talking about working with special educational needs. So it's good to see the variety, and I think that we are going to. There's so much possibility, so much opportunity to work from each other, and it's good to have a variety because it gives you a variety of viewpoints. And I really liked what Sarah said in one of her comments, that it's learning with each other and for each other. So by giving feedback to people, we can do something for them and also for us. Kind of comments and more more discussion and interaction on the forum, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, thank you. It's definitely about learning from each other. Even for facilitators that we did the first Mooc, it was very enriching also to be a facilitator, not also as a participant. So it's really a learning experience for everyone, right?
Yes, definitely.
We are all learning new tools and new approaches, new contexts. So it's really enriching. So yes, I wanted to answer this question or comment from Imma Ebon. It really gets better. Don't get discouraged. It will get better. It's the first week. We have many things at the same time. So a new environment, two new environments, and also a new course design and approach. So stick there, as Denzil and Paul and Anya said, and it will get better. It will really get better because it's something that we are constructing and building together. So it only can happen if you stay with us. Also, I was reading a comment today on the English group. Someone was saying that he has some trouble or struggling with Canvas, and that he always thought that when designing quizzes and modules for the students was easier, but now that you're in the in the role of a student, you realize that it's not as easy as you thought. So that, I think, it's also a learning experience per se, and learning design studio is very much about empathy. So designing is about empathy, it's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right, and understanding their situation, their context, and this is what we are going to try to do in this course as well. And then there is another question. Do you think that the diversity of our age and professions could limit our cooperation? What were your expertise with the MOOC courses in the past? Anya, do you want to answer that? Do you want me to do it, Paul?
Well, I guess I can. Well, I can try to answer the first question. Yes, it could be, but not necessarily. I think it kind of depends on how we approach that, and if we are happy to think a little bit beyond our immediate context. I think there is a lot to learn in the diversity, and even though on the surface, perhaps it might seem that, oh, what can I, as a language teacher, what can I learn from somebody who does computing? But if we just look at it kind of in a wider, broader way, then it's all about learning and pedagogy. So I'm sure despite the diversity and despite the diversity of experience, we can learn from each other. But maybe we just need to kind of think a little bit beyond our kind of narrow. I don't want, no, narrow is the wrong word, but beyond our context, our immediate context.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that if we go beyond these superficial elements, like okay, you're in an Ealing Greece or you're somewhere in the US, well, it's behind that or after that and after the different sectors, maybe we are all kind of more or less facing the same difficulties and problems, which is introducing ICT in the classroom is not that easy, and it's not about technology, but it's about pedagogy and technology, right? And I think we are all as educators facing this issue, and seeing different ages and professions and environments can help us design more creatively, right? And learning from each other even much more than if we were all from the same age and the same discipline. So that say that we promote very much about peer mentoring and sharing and talking among each other. We also suggest that when you go into ILDE, that you add tags to your streams and to your projects so that anyone else, for example, if you're teaching English, someone else interested in learning activities for teaching English can reuse them or learn from them. So I think we try to combine both, right? The richness of being from different sectors and environments, but also finding ways to put people that have things in common together. So, yeah, I don't know, Paul, do you want to say anything? Dimitra?
Yeah, I would just say on the end of that a MOOC is a massive open online community, and the fact that we're all here and will want to share and talk to each other is a good starting point. I mean, we wouldn't be here if we didn't want to share ideas. So hopefully the people are coming to the table with those ideas and open mind in order to share. So I'm hoping that's the reason we're all here in the first place. And as educators, that's why we educate, isn't it? I hope.
Yes. I also want to point out that we have all these quick questions that we are sending out through Twitter, and we posted a blog today. We posted a post on the HANDSON blog today about some of the results. So I would invite you to go there, and there was this quick questions about do you plan to do all the activities of the MOOC? So most people answered that yes, they are planning on doing all of them. Is it the first experience with MOOCs? Most of also educators answered that yes, this is the first experience. And there was a question about if education is a design practice, and most educators answered that yes, an educator should be a designer of learning experiences. And the last one was about creativity and education, and most people also answered that creativity is a must in education. So it's interesting to see that even if we are all come from different backgrounds and contexts, we have all the same goals and focus and the same mindset somehow, right? We are all wanting to learn from this experience, willing to be designers as designers of learning experiences, and including or adding creativity to education. So I would also like to invite participants to join these activities that go through the social media, and I'm gonna add here the email so that the direct address so that Mireia can post it on the questions and answers. So that said, if there are no more questions or no participants that want to join us today here, I think we will leave it for today. I don't know if any of you want to add anything. It's the first week, it's the first conversation session, so it was mostly a warm-up activity today to get to know each other, to get on the mindset of the MOOC. And again, I would suggest that people stay with us and don't be discouraged. You have
Muriel,
the same? Yes, Dimitri?
I just to remind the Greek participants that today we have the Greek session at 5 o'clock Athens time, and we will be very happy if they can join us.
Great, thank you. So in half an hour, right?
Yeah.
We will be having the session in Greek. So for all Greek participants, you can join us afterwards. And I don't know about Christina saying on the questions and answers that she's heard the same presentation twice. Mm, I don't think so. We are doing this live, so every time is new. Obviously, the contents are similar, so it might sound a bit redundant, but we keep seeing people joining us every day, so that we try to ensure that everyone has the same idea. So when you look at the graph of how the registration is growing, it's really growing up every day, and that's why maybe for participants that have been with us a little bit, it might sound a bit repetitive. Changes to the canvas navigation. Sure. Yes, you can suggest things, and we are having also some difficulties with navigation through Canvas, and I'm sure it's something that we will um, record and suggest for the next editions. It's true that the access to the modules and then to the groups is not the easiest thing ever. So yes, should we leave it here, Annie and Paul, Dimitra? Let's say that we'll see each other next week. Same time.
Same time, same channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you all for participating, and we'll see each other next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.